I'm officially 40 and it's time I started taking aging a little more seriously. Hi, my name is Ivy. I'm founder of Ivy & Fields, your favorite clean living marketplace, where you can support small brands making the best in non-toxic products. Now, living in Miami, you might think I will be turning to Botox for my aging needs, but I'm a non-toxic girly, so we are going to do this neurotoxin-free. In this series, we'll talk to experts on how we can support our body and our skin internally, the external habits and routines that we can adopt, and exploring the naturally minded professional help that is out there. Because you do have options way beyond Botox. Today, we're discussing everything you can do at home to support your aging skin. And while we will talk about professional treatments, the truth is that you are taking care of your skin at least 29 out of the 30 days, even if you're getting monthly facials. So I am here today with 𝐀𝐭-𝐇𝐨𝐿, who's a triple licensed esthetician.
Hello, everyone.
𝐀𝐭-𝐇𝐨 is licensed in Massachusetts, Florida, and Colorado. She has a bachelor's degree in business and entrepreneurship from Babson College. She also has a past career in sales. And during the pandemic, she made the decision to pursue her passion for skin and has been in the aesthetics world ever since. So, 𝐀𝐭-𝐇𝐨, before we get into talking about caring for our skin, I want to talk about some of those factors that might be affecting our skin outside of our home.
Absolutely. So there's two types of factors that are important. What happens inside, which are the intrinsic factors, which is your cell turnover slows down, collagen production slows down, all of these things that happen starting around mid-20s, around the 25-year-old and onwards. Those are things that happen inside of us. However, there's things that we can control, which are the extrinsic factors. Extrinsic factors are anything that has to do with lifestyle. So it can be smoking, it can be tanning, it can be having a poor diet, free radical damage caused from food, it can be multiple things that occur because of the lifestyle that you're living. It's exciting because you get to choose if you want to do or continue doing these things, but it's also empowering because you can make the decision to change the course of your aging. You can age gracefully, not only based on our genes, but also on what we're doing in our day-to-day.
So what would you say are the biggest factors? Which ones should we really be paying attention to?
Here in Miami, the sun, tanning. We can get a little more in it, but basically we're trying to prevent collagen degradation by doing the monthly facials, by doing the skincare, and then if we're doing everything in our power to prevent collagen degradation, and then we go and lay in the sun for hours upon hours, then it's counterproductive. We need to make a decision. Do we want to degrade collagen or do we not? So sun exposure is a big one. Sleep is a very important one. Nutrition, good nutrition, the excess of fried foods, sugar causes glycation on the skin. Again, we can get a little more in-depth into it, but they create free radicals, they create aging of the skin, it can create sagging, it can create dullness. And then, of course, there's other factors like drinking, smoking, even being in front of blue light for long periods of time can be things that impact. Travel can impact. So I don't want you to stop doing any of these things. I just want everyone to do it in moderation.
Awareness is key because then you can make
absolutely
some changes.
So for instance, let's say you like going dancing and you want to go out on a Friday night. I'm not saying not to have 1 or 2 drinks. I'm just saying if you have 10, that's going to impact your skin the next day. It's going to cause dehydration. You're probably not going to sleep because you have dehydration in your body, so you're going to wake up earlier because you want to drink water or you want to go to the bathroom. So I'm not saying not to go out. I'm just saying perhaps 1 or 2 drinks versus 10.
And then I'm going to ask this next question because I know that you're big into fitness as well. So
absolutely.
What about skincare post-gym?
Very important question. I think one of the key factors for aging gracefully is having strength training in your day-to-day. I actually did an entire event on this where I met Ivy. And there's different factors that can impact the skin, especially after working out. But the reason why I decided to do this event was because I was seeing so many of my fellow bunda mates, girls that take classes with me, break out from sweat. Skins that are not meant to be breaking out, that were breaking out because they didn't know what to do post-workout. So it's different for everyone, but if you can take off the sweat as soon as you can, if you can go wash your face as soon as you finish the workout, that would be best. And then you know my secret. I love hypochlorous acid. I swear by it. I don't only use it when I work out. I use it when I need a refreshment. I use it when I go dancing and I'm sweating and I just need a little refreshment. I even use it when I travel.
Kill all that gunky bacteria.
We just want to prevent. We want to prevent the acne-causing bacteria, and you can also use it for multiple other things like cleaning your brushes.
All right, I want to get back to sunscreen because there are big debates in the clean living space about no sunscreen and sunscreen is bad for you and sunscreen is good for you. And so I am definitely team sunscreen, and I would like a licensed esthetician here to explain to everyone why sun protection is so important.
Most of my clients and most of what I see on the treatment room is premature aging. Girls that are 20, like in their 20s, and they're still having fine lines and wrinkles, they have pigmentation, they have impaired barriers, they have dullness, they have sagging because of sun damage that has caused premature aging. As long as you protect your skin, at the end of the day, that's all I care about, because that's gonna allow me as the esthetician to help you in the treatment room. That's also going to allow you to save money in the future because you're not aging your skin earlier. So when to use sunscreen, rule of thumb every single day. If there's people that want to get a little bit of sunlight without sunscreen, you can do it in the morning or in the evening when the UV is below 2. So the UV goes from 1 to 11, and then 11 plus is extreme. If you're going for a walk at 8 a.m. in the morning, you don't have to use sunscreen. Okay, the UV is probably gonna be a 0 or a 1, at least here in Miami. When you come back from that walk and you shower, the UV is going to increase. So after that shower, I encourage people to use sunscreen. I don't use sunscreen when I go work out because I work out at 5:45 a.m. or at 7. What do? I go work out. When I come back and I shower, that's when I do my sunscreen, and that's when I do my entire skincare routine. So are you allowed to go for a walk without sunscreen? Absolutely. However, I want you to create a routine of putting it on every single day, because you're not going to be checking every single day if you are going to put sunscreen on or not. Because again, we want to prevent the premature aging. We're not preventing aging. Aging is something that's going to happen. We just want you to age gracefully.
And for those of you that are worried about your vitamin D intake, because this is one of the questions that I get, you only need 15 to 30 minutes of sun exposure a day to get more than enough of your vitamin D daily intake. So like she said, you can go out where there's low UV, get your vitamin D in, and then wear sunscreen. You do not need an 8-hour beach day with no sunscreen to get your vitamin D.
Absolutely.
Now we're going to talk about at-home beauty, because even if you are getting professional treatments, you're not doing that every day, and a lot of the maintenance for your skin is done by you.
70 to 80% of the results you're going to get is what you do every single day. The skincare is the most important part of the process. So even if you're getting facials every single month and you're not doing skincare, you're only getting 20 to 30% of the results. If you're doing skincare and you're not doing facials, you're getting 70 to 80% of the results. When you combine it, you get to 100. But if you had to pick one, it would always be skincare. And this is coming from someone that has a living based on facials. So if there's anyone telling you you can do facials and not have any skincare at home, just beware, because what you do every single day is what has most impact.
There are many trendy beauty fads out there for what you could be doing at home. So I'm going to ask 𝐀𝐭 to give her opinions on a thumbs up or thumbs down, yes or no, to some of these. Face yoga.
If it makes you happy, you can do it. It's not going to prevent, in my opinion, the morphology of the skin to happen. You're gonna age. You need more than just face yoga.
Dry brushing.
It's a form of exfoliation. I prefer chemical exfoliation. It helps with like lymphatic drainage and this and that, but you can also do lymphatic drainage with a Gua Sha, which I think you're gonna ask me about.
Next up, Gua Sha.
Love Gua Sha. I love Gua Shas. Is it going to change your face structure? No. Is it going to remove your little, how do you say papada in English? Fat.
Your like chicken neck?
Yeah.
Chicken neck, is that right?
It's not going to reduce it, but it will help move out any toxin that you need to release. It will help move nutrients and oxygenation into your blood, which at the end of the day ends up going to the skin. So love lymphatic drainage. I think it's amazing. I don't necessarily set up time to do Gua Sha because I'm a very practical person, but the way I put my serums on is with lymphatic drainage in mind. So I think it's wonderful. If I had to pick, I would choose Gua Sha and not dry brushing. Dry brushing is just, it's an exfoliation. You're removing, even when you do it in your body, you're removing the dead skin of the surface of your skin. You can do it.
Always good.
If it makes you happy, you can definitely do it. But is it going to prevent fine lines and wrinkles? No.
At-home microneedling, sometimes
No.
referred to as dermarolling.
No. So now there's a new type of at-home microneedling. I'm going to talk specifically about dermarolling. A couple of years ago, there was this, it was like a roller that had needles, and you were supposed to roll it all over your face.
And people were turning it on their skin and damaging their skin.
The reason why we do microneedling is because we want to create a controlled injury. We want to create, the keyword is controlled injury, in a sanitized, safe environment, like a spa, where we have antiseptics, we clean your skin, we prep your skin, we use the specific medium that we want to penetrate into your skin, and then we sanitize and then we clean. And that needle that we use, which is non-reusable, goes into biohazard, okay? When you have a roller at home, you can't control the depth of the needle. You can't control the angle that the needle is going in. When you do microneedling, it's going perpendicular to the skin. So 90 90 degrees into the skin. When you have a roller, it goes at an angle and then it leaves at an angle. So it does create an injury, but it's not the kind of injury that we want for the skin. On top of that, the sanitation aspect is extremely important. So if we do a summary, you can't control the depth of the needle. The depth of the needle on the forehead is different than the cheeks and it's different than the chin. You can't control it. You can't clean it. And third of all, is coming at an angle and leave it at another one, creating unnecessary trauma. So if you want to get microneedling, it's one of my favorite treatments. I just did my last 2 weeks at the spa, and I did microneedling on everyone that I could because it's my favorite treatment, but you need to do it in a safe environment.
Do it at a spa, don't do it at home.
Don't do it at home.
Icing and cold therapy.
Love it. Love it. Most of the skin conditions or skin diseases occur from inflammation. Acne is inflammation, rosacea is inflammation, pigment is inflammation. So if you prevent inflammation, then you're halfway there. My problem with these trendy hot Pilates, hot saunas, if you're someone that are not prone to pigment, wonderful. But if you're someone that in your pregnancy you got melasma, or hereditarily you're a Fitzpatrick higher and you can get easily melasma, these are not the environments that you want. You don't want to do a sauna every single day. The sauna has benefits, absolutely. But if you're working on pigment, you need to avoid hot showers. Any hot situation is what we want to stay away from. So cold therapy, I love. I think it's great. I actually tell my clients when they're getting a pimple to ice because it's going to help the inflammation. If we control the inflammation, we control the rest of the process. So do you need to ice every single day? No. Do I ice every single day? No. Do I ice when I feel like a pimple's coming? Yes.
And when you're referring to icing, the ice rolling, the ice plunging?
It can be anything. There's these new like little lollipops that you put on your face. That works. I grab it from my fridge and I just clean it and then I put it on my face. You could put a bowl and just dump your face. Whatever works for you. Just stay away from the heat.
So for those of us that are not licensed estheticians, can you talk about the Fitzpatrick scale?
Absolutely. Sometimes I just throw information, and if I don't make sense, please correct me because it happens a lot. I sometimes assume you guys know what I know. So there's 6 levels of Fitzpatricks, which are Fitzpatrick types, and they are based on how your skin reacts to the sun. So for instance, someone that has blue eyes, blonde, maybe redheads, people very, very, very fair, they don't do well under the sun. They will never tan. They will always burn. That's a Fitz 1. I'm a Fitz 2 because I have darker hair, darker eyes. I'm Spanish/Venezuelan heritage. So I usually burn, very, very rarely tan. So I'm not going to go tan. If I want to be colored, I'll color myself, like I'll self-tan, but my skin type will mostly burn every single type. And then you go 3, 4. 4 is more like your Dominicans, your Italians, beautiful glow, like beautiful burn, like tan, sun damage, but people that are not going to burn as easily, they're going to tan first. And then you have your Fitzpatricks 5s and 6, which are people of darker color that will mostly never burn, always tan. A lot of times people in the 4s and 5s, they pigment fairly easily. Again, it can be pigment from heat, it can be pigment from sun, and it can be pigment from hormones. When I mentioned the sauna or the Pilates, we're just preventing people that are prone to pigmenting. We're preventing putting them in a situation where they're going to. Now, if you want to have a sauna every single day of your life and you don't care about pigment, by all means, at the end of the day, you need to do whatever makes you happy. But if pigment is something that is of concern of you, then stay away from the heat, stay away from the hot showers. And then try to seek shade when the UV is really high. Because even if you're not in an encapsulated situation, if you're in the beach and it's UV 11+, which is extreme, you will also pigment. Not only from the sun exposure, but from the heat.
And for those of you wondering, where am I going to look up the UV rating? It's right on your app. So if you open up your weather app, or if you have the what is it, Apple Watch? I don't have one, so.
I have it on my Apple Watch because it tells me when I have to put sunscreen on my clients. So for instance, in December, January, the UV goes down very, very early because it goes, like the sun goes down earlier. So I stopped putting sunscreen on my clients at 4, whenever the UV is 2 or less. Now I need to check the UV because sometimes it's 6 and I still have to put sunscreen on my clients. So extremely useful app. You go to the weather app and you can just go down to where it says UV index, and you can actually see the forecast of the UV index. I like playing tennis. I can see what the UV index is going to be like at 5 p.m., 6 p.m., and I can decide to play a little later or a little earlier if the UV is not going to be that high. Even when it's cloudy, the UV goes through. So very important.
So next up, facial steaming.
No, I just talked about it.
The heat. It's the heat.
First of all, personal opinion, I feel like I'm drowning. I don't enjoy the steam in my face. Second of all, for those that are prone to pigment, they're going to pigment with the heat. If you're someone, I'm not saying that if your spa uses steaming, it's bad. Perhaps they're doing skin analysis and they're analyzing your skin and they're saying, I need to soften some things up before extractions, and you're not acne prone, so I'm gonna use it on you. I don't like using it in the spa. In SkinTeak, where I used to work, we don't use it because we get to those extractions chemically. We mix natural ingredients that when you mix them together, create a reaction that does the disincrustation and allows you to extract perfectly. You don't need the heat. So people that steam themselves in the house, no. Why? You want to do the opposite. Do a cold plunge.
I think it just looks cool in the TikTok reels when people are like,
I mean, I don't like it. I feel like I'm drowning, especially when they put it, like in my school, we had to learn every single one. We learned the European facials, which are with steam. We learned American facials, which is, in Boston, they designed a heat mask. So they would put it on your face and it would like melt everything, which was spectacular. But again, at the end of the day, it's heat. I think there's more advanced technology. Maybe 50 years ago it was necessary. I don't think it's necessary anymore.
at home dermaplaning.
No. You're gonna disrupt your skin mantle and get your... So dermaplaning is an amazing technology, same as microneedling. It has benefits for the skin. It is first and foremost an exfoliation method. Does it take off the vellus hairs and you like how it looks? Yes, but that's not the reason why we're doing dermaplaning. What's happening is that now people are buying these like neck razors that they use it on their skin, and at least with my clients, they give themselves ingrown hairs. They disrupt their skin barrier because they want to do it very often. They see one little hair and they start dermaplaning their entire face. And we need to think about it as an exfoliating method. You don't want to exfoliate mechanically every single day. 3 times a week is more than enough, mechanically at least. If you're doing chemically through like bakuchiol or other
Lactic acid,
mandelic acid, salicylic acid, AHAs or BHAs, or retinoids, you could do a little more of it because the technology is more advanced and it's formulated in a way where it's not going to disrupt your skin mantle. But I don't think that it's a good idea to do it at home. If you have an event or if you have a situation where you don't want to have any vellus hairs, then go to your esthetician. I would recommend it to my clients based on the benefits of the exfoliation. The vellus hairs are just a little add-on. Not the main reason why we do it though.
Okay. All right. How about face taping?
Face taping, what it does is it mobilizes the muscle. So for instance, Botox permanently immobilizes the muscle for a couple months. Face taping permanently immobilizes the muscle for a couple hours. So it's going to depend on how consistent you are. I haven't tried face taping. I would be open to trying it, but the reasoning behind it makes sense. When you're sleeping, especially side sleepers, you create vertical lines, and you like sometimes people hold a lot of tension and they have TMJ and they bite and they frown. So this is a way to prevent that from happening because you're literally immobilizing the muscle by putting something on your skin. Does it work? It depends on the consistency, but I'm excited to try it. If anyone wants to send me some face tapes, I would love to try them out.
So I'm a side sleeper. I've also seen, and this isn't on the list, but I've also seen the pillows that have like a gap in the middle so that when you're sleeping on your side, what do you think about that?
Get it.
Yeah?
Of course, because like I have clients that are side sleepers and I can see it on their skin. They're like, how did you know? And I'm like, you have vertical lines in your face and you have like a V in your décolleté and you're 35. You're not supposed to have vertical lines ever. And then you're not supposed to have an aging décolleté so young, unless you tanned when you're 15 every single weekend. If you're used to it, it's really hard to change
how you sleep.
That habit, because you might try to go to bed like this and then you wake up on the side.
I can't do it.
So just buy that one.
Okay.
It makes sense. And then there's also some pillows that you put in between your breasts and they prevent one hunching on top of the other and creating the V that I'm talking about.
Oh, I do have that V. Oh.
So you could try. I have clients that just find them very uncomfortable, but if you can't sleep on your back, then it might be an important investment.
Okay.
If you care about how your décolleté looks. If you don't care, then.
Now the last one is at-home red light therapy.
100 million out of 10. I made every single one of my aunts buy it. There's 2 kinds. There's the panel, like Soluma's. I love Soluma. The reason why I like it is because I'm not gonna put a face mask on my face 5 times a week. I am not going to do it. My aunts are not going to do it either. So I'd rather them spend a little more on higher technology that has a deeper wavelength and it's going to work better, you don't need to use it as often. There's people that can't afford the panels or don't want to use the panels. They want to wash their dishes while they're doing their LED lights. Then they can use the mask. But that means you need to be very consistent, because for the masks to work, at least the majority, you need to use at least 5 times a week. And it's 10 minutes a day, 5 times a week. I can't even do a mask once 5 times a week. So for me, it would not make sense. I'd rather put a serum on my skin every single day than have to put on a mask and then take it off. I'm not gonna do it. So I think they're wonderful. What we were talking about, the consistency of it is the most important. If you are someone that are going to use it every single day religiously, then get the mask. If you're someone that prefers the comfort or that prefers the higher technology, then get the panel. But I think red light therapy is the most advanced thing you can do at home, by far. Let me explain a little bit of what it does. Red light therapy, LEDs have different, do you want me to tell a story?
Sure.
I learned this in a conference. Don't quote me exactly, but they found LED lighting through astronauts, because they found out that when astronauts were coming back from space, after spending a long time in the stations, they were aging. And they were trying to find a way for them to not age as quickly. Apparently, gravity has something to do with the cell turnover. And since there's no gravity, then they were aging. And so they were trying to use technology that they already had on the spacecraft or the location they have outside of space. And they were using white LED light therapy for plant growth. So they started experimenting it, and they found out that red helps with cell turnover and collagen production. So remember half an hour ago where we were talking about extrinsic and intrinsic aging? Intrinsic aging is cell turnover slowdown and collagen. So red LED masks are going to help with the intrinsic aging that we were talking about, what happens inside of the skin. And then other colored LEDs also have benefits, like blue is usually associated to acne, not because it can only benefit acne, but it helps inflammation and it helps oxygenize the skin. So when you oxygenize acneic skin, it kills the C. acnes bacteria, so it's very beneficial. There's other colors like green and yellow, and they have hyperpigmentation benefits and they have tightening benefits, but the most common are red and blue. What I like about the panel, the Soluma, there's many other brands, but I only like recommending brands that I've worked with. The Soluma combines both red and blue for each one of their modules. So anti-aging, remember how I said everything arises from inflammation? They use the red for the collagen production and the cell turnover, but they also use a little bit of the blue to help reduce any inflammation that there is. And then for acne, they use mostly blue, but they also use a little bit of red because you want to stimulate that cell turnover for whatever's inside the skin to come to the surface and then be oxygenated by the blue. So very, very interesting technology. As you can see, I'm very passionate about it. I believe 100% on it. I made all my aunts who are my clients buy them, because I truly believe in them. And I think they're the most you can do at home.
Yeah, I'll just add to that. The quality does matter. So there are certain specs that you have to look for red light therapy, and maybe I'll put a little table here so you know what to look for, because you'll find some on Amazon for $30. Those ain't it.
Yeah, the ones.
And not to say that the most expensive one is the right one either. It's not, but you have to look at its certifications and to make sure that it is actually emitting the light that it says it is.
Infrared light, which is different from LED lights. I have clients that bought infrared lights thinking they were LEDs, and they're different. The wavelength penetrates deeper into the muscle, and they're meant for muscle relaxation and recovery after working out. It's going to be great for your muscles, but it's not going to do that much for your skin.
All right, so thank you so much for rating those. I think no matter what you choose from that list, the number one thing is consistency. You have to be doing it the recommended amount that you have to do it to get and see results. So I'm going to jump now to skincare routines, because we've all seen the 12-step skincare routines out there. Do we need 12 steps? And if not, what do we actually need?
We don't need 12 steps. If it makes you happy to put 4 hydrating toners, one after the other, you can. There's no routine I can tell you guys right now, because I don't know your specific skincare routine. What I always suggest is go to a licensed esthetician, and they can analyze your skin and tell you what works for you, because it's going to be tailored to what your skin goals are or what your skin concerns are. So my skincare routine is very basic. I can tell you a little bit more about it, but it just consists on the combination of the ingredients that work towards my goals, and mine doesn't have to be the same as yours. I do have some mandatory minimum requirements like sunscreen, moisturizer, and cleansing. Those are the bare minimum, but there's different levels of routines that you could do. I'm gonna do 3 categories. of skincare routines. Again, my recommendations mean nothing if you don't go to a licensed esthetician that can look at your skin under the loop and recommend you what your skin needs. I am not seeing you under the loop. So these are non-medical advice.
This is not medical advice.
Not medical advice. However, 3 tiers of skincare. Number 1, the basics. Everyone with a face should have this: a good cleanser, a good moisturizer, and a good sunscreen. If you don't want to do skincare, that's the minimum you can do. Then it depends on your skin condition, because if your skin barrier is disrupted, then you wouldn't do this. So go to a licensed esthetician. But the second tier for me would be either vitamin C and retinol, or some sort of exfoliant and antioxidant. My favorite ones are vitamin C and retinol, but if you're not ready for retinol, it could be a resurfacing serum that has glycolic and lactic acid. It could be mandelic serum that's going to help with breakouts and has a thicker, like a larger molecular weight. It can be PHAs. Just some sort of exfoliation and antioxidants. For me, vitamin C is the best one, just because it targets a lot of things: collagen production, pigment inhibition, and free radical damage. But it doesn't have to be vitamin C, the first one. And then once you have those 2, you would go into the third, which would be the wants. Do you want to include a peptide serum? Included. Do you want to include hydrating toner or exfoliating toner or illuminating toner or hypochlorous acid? Then this is when you would do it. Eye cream, this is when you would do it. But first, you would target the minimum, the necessities, and these would be the extras.
And what would you say is the ideal order for some of these things?
Great question. It's going to depend on the thickness. So we want to make sure we go from lightest to thickest, because we're going to go in the order of the molecular weight. So for instance, my vitamin C is not liquid. It's kind of like a serum. It's like a thicker serum. I put it first because I want those to penetrate first. And then I go in with my hyaluronic acid. I have an illuminating serum. I follow up with that. But if my vitamin C were oil, I could not put it first, because if you put oil, then whatever comes after will not penetrate. So rule of thumb, from lightest to thickest, oils always go last. Oils could either go on top of moisturizer or under it. If you're using oils in the morning, you have to finish with sunscreen. If you're using oils at night, you could put it, again, under or over moisturizer, depending on what you prefer.
I'll say a little anecdotal story. In the clean living space, a lot of us avoid some water-based products because a lot of brands out there use harsh preservatives that we rather avoid. And so I have seen people completely abandon water-based products and then do just oil-based. And then they deal with issues of dryness and they wonder, why is my skin so dry? I'm putting oil, I'm putting butter, I'm putting tallow on my face. Like, why am I not hydrated? Well, it's because you've completely cut out water-based products.
Which are going to act as an occlusive. They're going to prevent TOOL. TOOL is transepidermal water loss, so they're going to prevent your water molecules to evaporate at night, but they're not going to hydrate your skin like a hyaluronic acid would. So I think that's perfect. So you can put your water-based in the morning, and then you can put your more oil occlusives at night.
Heavy healing.
Yeah, nourishment. So you can go to bed and repair your skin.
Wake up 5 years younger.
Absolutely.
So you spoke about exfoliating as one of the recommendations. I'd like for you to tell the audience how often they should be doing that, because it can be overdone.
Go to a licensed esthetician. Rule of thumb, 2 to 3 times a week is more than enough. It's going to depend on your age. It's going to depend, do you have acne or not? It's going to depend where you live. Do you live in Wisconsin, where it's very cold? Or do you live in Colorado, where it's very dry? Do you live in Miami, that's hot and humid? It depends on multiple factors, not only what your skin goals are, but like your lifestyle, where you're living, etc. Rule of thumb, 2 to 3 times a week. There's people that are more mature skinned that can exfoliate every single day, and they are encouraged to, because we're trying to accelerate the cell turnover, and we're trying to accelerate collagen production, because these are things that intrinsically go down. Someone in their teens, they don't have to exfoliate every single day unless they have a condition like acne and their dermatologist sent them, or their licensed esthetician sent them to exfoliate more. Rule of thumb though, 2 to 3 times a week is more than enough. This can be either mechanical or chemical, so it doesn't have to be 2 or 3 times a week.
Of both.
Of both.
Yeah. Talk to me about double cleansing.
Double cleansing is the correct method by which you take your makeup off and you take off all of the day and the gunk and the sweat and the pollution and the everything on the first cleanse, and then you follow up that second cleanse with what it's actually going to clean your pores. So I only double cleanse when I wear makeup, because the rest of the time I'm just wearing sunscreen and that's it. Like, I don't put makeup on my day to day, which is a blessing. That means the world to me because I had acne, and before I always felt like I had to cover it. So being at the point where I just wear sunscreen is a blessing. But when I do wear makeup, let's say today, I get home and I need to take off everything that's on my skin before I can actually cleanse so that my pores are able to be cleaned properly. So if you have a oil cleanser or if you have a balm, micellar water, it's not my favorite, but it's better than nothing. You can use those first and then go in with your actual cleanser.
Like a water-based surfactant.
A water-based cleanser, and actually clean your pores. And then you do the rest of your routine. Because what happens often is that people skip the first step, or they just don't cleanse properly, and then they are putting all of these products on their skin.
Creating an occlusive layer
that are
and
not
trapping it in,
but it's also not getting anywhere because the pore is clogged. Like the pore is not clean, so it can't penetrate. So it's like, I heard somewhere, it's like starting with a clean canvas so that you can do all of your skincare. The most important step is the cleansing. So make sure you cleanse properly and then follow up with the rest of your routine.
And this doesn't matter if you are acne prone or not, the over cleansing.
No.
When is over cleansing a problem? How about that?
For instance, I had a friend / client that was exfoliating in every single cleansing, and she would cleanse 3 times a day, and she would, with very drying abrasive cleansers, like these that had little beads and everything.
Oh no, don't do that. That pollutes our environment.
So you don't want to do that 3 times a day. And then she was wearing makeup, and this wasn't taking off the makeup, and she was trapping it all in. So when we say don't overdo cleansing is with harsh drying cleansers. If your cleanser has, ingredients that are going to support the skin barrier, that are going to be moisturizing, that are going to be skin identical ingredients, then you shouldn't have a problem. I shower 3 times a day. I wake up early and I work out, I have to shower. And then I'm out all day, I have to shower again. And then if I have a dinner or something, I shower again, but my cleanser doesn't disrupt my skin barrier. So the over cleansing is just a problem because you disrupt your natural barrier of protection, and then skin problems occur from it. Okay. But double cleansing should be fine.
Now I'm going to ask just selfish questions about my own skincare.
Go ahead.
Since you're here.
I'm here.
So I've always dealt with hormonal acne. I actually do not break out that often, except during that time of the month. Yes. So I did see a big improvement when I stopped cleansing in the morning.
Great question. Great question. So my skin type, and possibly your skin type, you don't need to cleanse in the morning because you just went to bed. The only thing you did was sleep. So most skin types don't need to cleanse in the morning. It's fine just taking off the remainder of the skincare from the day before and rinsing with cold water and then doing your skincare routine. So if I don't work out in the morning, I just wash my face with cold water and go ahead and do my vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, and sunscreen. If you're someone that is oily skinned, then you might have to cleanse in the morning, but that doesn't mean that you necessarily have to. So if just taking off, or you could do a gentle cleanser. If you really wanted to cleanse, you could do like a very gentle cleanser, but most skin types don't really need it. We actually need our natural oils or our skin mantle to be strong. And if we overdo it, then it's going to be a problem.
Okay. All right, great.
So you're doing everything right is what I'm trying to say.
Great.
If it works for you, you don't have to cleanse in the morning. Just at night, you do, because you've been out all day. Even if you've been in your house working from home, please cleanse at night because you sweat. You are in an environment that there's dust. You know that dust is desiccated skin cells?
All dust?
Most, apparently.
Oh.
I know.
I guess we're shedding all the time, so that makes sense.
We're desiccating all the time. So even if you're not leaving your apartment, please cleanse at the end of the day. And you should be putting sunscreen in the morning, so you have to cleanse the sunscreen and then just moisturize.
All right. This is the last question, and you have a captive audience. And on behalf of all estheticians out there, what do you wish that your clients were doing in between visits to you that would improve their skin or save you from having to correct all the mistakes that they made the other 30 days of the month?
There's so many things I could say, but what's going to give you the most results is your skincare. I would rather you do your skincare every single day than you use the red light therapy. If you're using red light therapy but you're not putting moisturizer at night, the transepidermal water loss occurs. If you are doing facials twice a month but you're not putting sunscreen on, your collagen is degrading. I think in general, having like a balanced life, I don't want anyone to stop doing anything that makes them happy, but everything in moderation is important. If you like fried food, enjoy it once in a while. Don't overdo it. If you like sugar, do it once in a while. Don't drink a Coke every single day. That creates glycation. I would say just living a balanced life, sleep, Sleep is the most important. That's how your body regenerates itself. And the skin is a very important organ, but it's not the priority. If the body needs to heal something else, it needs to focus on digestion, it needs to repair other things, the skin is not going to be regenerated. So unless you sleep enough, then you're gonna see, you know, the luminosity and the brilliance in your skin, because you're gonna be creating healthy new skin. So use sunscreen, avoid tanning, self-tan. Smoking is the worst thing you could do. Drinking in heavy quantities is the worst thing you can do. I'm talking about extrinsic factors because it's what you have control over. So do your skincare, have fun in moderation, and just be consistent. It doesn't have to be crazy rigid. If you want to go have an ice cream, if you don't want to work out this week because you're tired, that's fine. But it's all about imperfect consistency, almost is a term that my brother always uses. That you didn't do it in a day doesn't mean you have to stop altogether. If you skipped one day of anything, you can resume the following, and you don't have to start over a month later just because you decided to quit everything.
Yeah, we talk a lot about 80-20. Right?
Yes.
So 80% of the time, yes, make those good decisions, stick to your schedule, stick to your routines, and then if 20% of the time you're having that ice cream, or you went to bed without washing your makeup off.
No, that's not acceptable.
No, okay, fine. I can't put that in my 20.
I don't care. Hopefully you're doing double cleansing with an oil and a balm. The 20% would be a makeup wipe. I'm not taking it off.
Okay.
Take your makeup off so you don't break out.
That was a bad example. But yes, 80-20, don't stress about the 20% of the time that you're not perfect. It's all about 80% of the time making the best decisions that you can, and that is going to yield the best results.
Yes.
Thank you so much, 𝐿. You were phenomenal. Please tell people how they can find you if they want to learn more about their stuff.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. I met Ivy at an event, so I'm really happy that we bumped paths. If you want to follow my journey, I am embarking a very exciting new journey. You can follow me at Gua by 𝐿. That's going to be 𝐀𝐭-𝐇𝐨𝐿𝐿. Gua means skin in Maltese. So Gua by 𝐿, basically skin by 𝐿.
So fancy.
I'm going to be having a lot of adventures. I'm traveling a ton, not to say more, but should be exciting.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.